modern game in a retro jacket. I have been very pleased to make this video, and it was on my mind for a couple of months right now, and I've a lot to talk about, so let's take it away. If you like the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Over the last few weeks, months, I asked myself the question, do modern games suck? And a lot of those games do, to be honest. When I look, for example, at Red Dead Redemption 2, nah, it's not my type of game. Then I was wondering, well, do all modern games suck? No, I don't think so. I think there are a couple of games out there that have or that retro feel in a modern jacket, or new games that, because of their retro feel, that they are pretty good games. I had a blast researching, playing for this video. The first game that I want to talk about in this video is Matterfall for the PlayStation 4. Matterfall is a platformer game that really looks really nice. It is a bit of a futuristic game. And when I look at the gameplay, I saw some really innovating graphics, the way they solve things. But yeah, I have to be honest, there are people loving the game. But me, personal, I hoped also for retro controls. And retro controls is not the case in this game. And I think that is the Achilles heel of this game. To be honest, I didn't even make it through the tutorial. The first button that they explained was the jump button, and that's one of the shoulder buttons on the PlayStation controller. Jumping you do with the X button, just plain as simple as that. Shooting you do with another button. No, shooting you do with one of the directional pads on the PlayStation controller. Really weird. And then they added some gameplay mechanics and gameplay mechanics to the game, and I totally lost it. I want to play a game to relax, and that I can relax after a hard day work, and I don't want to think about when I have to press X, Y, and then the shoulder button and press left 9 times. Well, that I don't like that. I didn't even make it through the tutorial, and that's a shame. The game looked really promising.
Multiplier up.
Game number 2 is Rad Rogers, and there are multiple releases of the game for different systems. Rad Rogers is of course a platformer game. Yeah, that is the retro feel indeed. A platformer game which has really superb graphics. The funny thing is you can take pictures, and then you have a still shot of the game, and then you can zoom in, zoom out, go left and right with your camera, and that's really funny because then you can see how they build up the layers. The game starts off really easy, but it is not. What I don't like is that you have to search for items, but there is one Achilles heel in this game. You have to go to portals to go to another world. And that part of the game isn't fun. You have to swim in a really other dimension to clear off some items you need in the platforming part of the game. I would have liked if they just stuck to the platforming part, and I wanted to play through the game, and well, okay, I have to bite through those other portals, but those portal moments are getting bigger and more difficult, and no, I don't like the game. That's the reason why. It's a shame. It's a shame. It could have been something. Rad Rogers for the PlayStation 4. The next game on my list, well, I have to laugh because it's a remake. It's an HD remake of an old PlayStation game. I have to be honest, I don't have so much retro feeling about this game, but I saw it on commercials and it looked really fun to me. I am talking about Crash Bandicoot. And they did a remake of the game, of 3 games to be exact, but the gameplay is still the same. They added some extra levels to the game for people who bought the game. Crash Bandicoot is a, well, let's say a 3D platformer, but it's not all about the platforming parts. Crash Bandicoot is in a really special way really difficult, because there is an extra hurdle, and that is that sometimes placement and jumping on platforms that are in front of you, that is a challenge because you don't know how much you have to jump. When you look at platformer games that have a side view, then you can see how much you have to jump. But in 3D, that retrospect, that is a bit difficult. Nevertheless, the game is fun to play. It's hard, but it's fun to play. And I played all 3 games. I didn't play it through, but I think, yeah, indeed, the first one isn't the best. The first one is good, but isn't the best. Number 3 and 2 are better. I really love this game. The next game is another remake, another EHD remake. But it's more than HD, it is more than that. They upgraded the music, they upgraded the graphics. I am talking about Wonderboy in the Dragon's Trap. The original is a Master System game, and the fun part is that you can play the Master System version with the Master System music, but on your HD television. Razor sharp. But you can press a button and then you can do an overlay of the new game, and you can do a new music, and you can do the new graphics. You can do the old graphics with the new music with the old graphics. No problem. Of all the Master System games I own, it is not my favorite. Nevertheless, I think that there are a lot of people that have really big nostalgia for the game. When it comes to platforming and a little bit puzzle elements, I think you're really solid with this game. Oh, it's difficult. Oh, it's hard to play. I am talking about the next game. This is Megaman 11. They did a new Megaman game, but with the old gameplay mechanics of the NES, and they added some gameplay mechanics. They went back to their roots for Megaman 11. I like that about the game. What I don't like is the difficulty level, and some enemy placements, etc. aren't the best. But that again reminds me of those old NES days. I have to admit, the game is addictive, and if from all the games that I have lying around here and I want to play a game on the PlayStation 4 again, then it is Megaman 11. It has 8 stages, there are a bit more, but 8 stages, with each level has its own boss, and in each level that has a theme that is in the theme of that boss. The next game is not a remake, but an whole original itself. This is Shantae Half Genie Hero. Shantae is a platformer game for multiple systems. It has some special gameplay elements to it. For example, there are blocks, and you can switch between those blocks. Blocks are on the front, then you can jump on them. And blocks are on the back, and then you can't jump on them, and you have to switch between the blocks that are on the front and on the back. That is just a really original gameplay, and I really like that kind of gameplay. It is still a platformer game. There are also elements in the game, that's another mode, and that is just the platforming part, and then you can change your a genie, and you can swing your hips, and then you can get a monkey, for example, and then you can reach other places. The levels are the same for every mode, but yeah, they did enough with it to have a familiar surrounding, but the game is still fun. Shantae, half genie hero. Oh, by the way, I have to say the music is superb. The graphics are really good and do remind me a bit of Rayman. Rayman had that cartoon-like graphics and the cartoon-like humor in it, and Shantae has some elements, well, borrowed from that. Retro video game freaks have gone crazy over the next game, and it's a little bit of a famous one. I have to admit that, maybe a little bit corny, but I am talking about Sonic Mania. For years now, Sega tried to reintroduce the Blue Hedgehog to the modern consoles, and they did it with some really mediocre success, and that is a really optimistic approach. In my opinion, after, well, Sonic Advance 1, Sonic Advance 2, that is where the slope starts to slip. But we have a proper Sonic game right now with the approval of Sega itself. And man, they do that the right way. Me personal, the gameplay is superb, the music is superb. To me personally, I'd love to have more updated graphics in the game. They went for the pixel art that is a thing nowadays. Because the gameplay is so fun, I love to play the game, and I really like that they stuck to the original elements of the game, updated it. This is the Plus edition. That means that there are some extra other levels in the game, and there are some extra characters that you can play. Well, I pointed at Knuckles and Tails, but that is not the case. For me personal, they did not have to do that. The game is fun to play. You can play it through in a couple of hours, and that is really fun because a lot of the older games you can play them through in an hour and a half, but this one you have to really sit down for. Luckily they have save features, so you can save in between the game, but there is an option that you can run through the whole game without saving and beating the end boss. They did a really terrific job with Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is available for multiple platforms. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to make another one, but therefore I need your input. I want to know which games are really classics, are modern games in a retro jacket, and that can be an HD remake, an original, but with that retro feeling. Let me know in the comments below. I want to say thank you for watching this video. It means the world to me that you tuned in again, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.